This conference will now be recorded.
So guys, before starting our session, I would like to give few introduction about me. Like myself, Sandhya, I have 10 plus of years of experience into IT industry, of which majority of the experience into testing. So I have the experience as a manual test engineer as well as performance test engineer. So currently I was leading a team in one of the big MNC, like a top MNC. So that's it from my end. So you guys are comfortable, like I'm audible the volume wise and there was no any background noises, right? Please confirm so that we can start our demo session. Satya, Neha, Vijaya.
Audible, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So guys, please acknowledge me if you can see my screen. Able to see it?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Okay, sure. So once again, welcome to this demo session. So guys, before joining this demo, so you guys have any basic idea about software testing, why it has been used? Okay, anyways, I'm going to cover it, but I would like to know if you have any idea or how could be your understanding levels on it, so that I can explain you in a better way. So any ideas, any guesses, any thoughts, please share here, okay? I'm going to explain you very well. But just we'll start with what is a software and why software testing, what is a software testing, any ideas, any guesses? Please answer here.
So it's basically we are testing the piece of code that has been built. So we are just checking if it works fine, like if there are any defects, so we have to fix them. So that's what I can think about.
Okay, that's fine. Any other guesses? Guys, any other guesses, any other thoughts? Please share here. Okay, fine. Yeah, let me give you an idea why we are doing testing. Before that, I would like to explain what is a software. So everyone, most of here, I'm thinking that all the people are from NCA as well as BTech and degree from the computers background. But still, I'm trying to reiterate what is a software, which is a basic one. What is a software generally? A set of computer programs and minimal data to run a system is called a software, right? So this is, I have the system. Without the software I cannot do my task using only this hardware, right? With only this hardware, with software programs, I cannot do anything. So hand in hand with both hardware and software, I'm able to finish off my task, right? So it's nothing but an software. Okay, guys, got it? A computer is an electronic machine that can process, but it needs to be told what to do in the form of a set of instructions. These instructions are called as a software program. See, a computer cannot understand our basic English or any other regional languages. That is the reason we are instructing the computer to perform the task in system understandable language. So that is the reason we can call it as software programs. So who will in real time, who are going to write the software programs? Developers are going to write the software programs using the Java or .NET or any other programming languages. Okay, and also software allows the hardware to do something useful. Without software, the hardware would not know what it was supposed to do. Software depends on hardware and hardware depends on software, and together they form a computer system. So, like I said earlier, if the computer has to perform tasks like as a human, if we want to perform a task on computer, both software and hardware needs to be accepted, needs to be there. Okay, so that as a user, we can perform our task. Got it? Till now clear? Yeah. So coming to the, what is software testing? So as someone has said, I could not recollect their name. As someone said, we have to perform our testing activity on the piece of code which are developed by the developers. Okay. As a tester, what we are going to do, we are testing as per the customer's requirements. Okay. Yeah. Now customer has given in a web application, it has to display a button named A. Okay, as a tester, once the developer has completed his coding part, then as a tester, what we are going to do? Okay, so we are also checking the same in the application, whether a button named A was present or there in that application. Okay, that's what we are testing. And also as a tester, our main job is to identify the defects as well. If actual system means if the web page did not contain the button what was expected as per the customer requirement, we are going to raise the defect in the sense, if the actual behavior as well as system behavior, if both are not matching, then we are going to raise a defect. Okay, so software testing, we can call it as both verification as well as validation. Basically, as a tester, we are finding the defects. Okay, so checking what system supposed to do and what it not supposed to do. System here, I'm trying to relate it to application, product, or system, whatever. Okay, so as a tester, our responsibilities are like identifying the defects, as well as we were testing the application by verification and validation. I think, hope you guys are clear till now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are going to discuss about what is the importance of the testing, why we are performing the testing, why companies are acquiring the testing professionals, why. I will tell you one small example. Okay. See, we means developer has developed. Let me take one small example. Okay. Developers has developed one application called calculator. Okay, so they have written a program like, just assume that, okay, they have created a program like dim ABC dimension. Okay, A equal to B1 dot txt equal to B equal to B2 dot txt. Here they were writing some logic. Okay, if some dot click, then C equal to A into B and result C. Okay, so this is the program it has written by the developer. Here, what they were doing actually in the calculator, they have stored a few of the values in the A as well as in the B. These two are variables. Okay, so if sum dot click, okay, then C equal to A into B means what are the operations performed by the user A into B that has to be stored in the C variable. So that is the result C. As a user we are going to see. Okay, so in the real time also we should not bother about this programming language. Okay, whatever the piece of code which was written by the developers as a manual tester, we should not bother about it. But as an example, I'm trying to explain why the applications or the products or the system will be present with the defects. Okay, see, now As I said, this is a calculator. As a tester, what we will do, let me take Paint. Okay, so as per the code, what it was there? V1, okay, variable 1 and variable 2. Okay, V1, I am giving it as 10. 10 I am giving here. Okay, V1 equal to 10. Similarly, V2 equal to 20. Okay, what is the expected result as per this code? It has to be C equal to 10 into 20 equal to 200. Okay, but hello guys, are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so expected result is 30 here. What is the error here? Here they have written the, sorry, yeah, here they have written the logic as sum dot click. Sum means addition of the numbers. Okay, but the logic is different and the result which has to be stored in the variable is different. Here they were saying it has to be multiplied, but in the logic they were saying it has to be sum. Okay, in that case, see, our expected result as per the customer requirement, it has to be 30, 10 plus 20, 30. But as user was operating, it has calculated as 10 into 20 equal to 200. Then it's a defect, right? As a tester, while we are testing an application, if we identify, then it is a defect. But this calculator was released to the market, and if the user like you and me, if they were identified, then this product is a failure. Because while doing, see, customers can do any of the operations on the calculator, not only multiplication, not only subtraction, not only division, or not only the addition. So these are the areas mainly based on the calculations or based on the things. Okay, developers are very, I'm not saying they were very poor in writing the code, maybe due to some communication issues or some requirement understanding issues or maybe something else issues. Okay, they are prone to write the wrong logics or the wrong code. So that is the reason people are hiring the QA people just to identify these type of defects. So that is the reason we have to be very careful enough to understand the requirements, and we have to accordingly test it on our application. Got it? Hope you guys understand this example.
So this sum dot click is a function, right? That will be invoked.
Yeah, sum dot click is the function, and they have written the logic here. If sum dot click, then C equal to A into B.
Okay, okay. So if this is not true, then it will not multiply in that case.
Yes, yes, it should not multiply, but it was getting multiplied, but they have written the code as sum dot click. Okay, after entering V1 10 plus 20, click means enter. If they're entering, if they're clicking on enter button on the calculator button, it has to be result with 30, but it was resulting with 200. Why? this was a calculation error because they have written some wrong code, wrong logic here. Okay, we should not bother about it in real time. Okay, but we should understand about the UI, what the UI was giving the correct output.
Got it.
As a tester, we were seeing this UI only. UI means user interface, this front-end application. Okay, we should not bother about what has written the logic backside of this. Okay, so that's the reason people are acquiring the testing professionals. So that is the reason we have to verify as well as validate the application, and also we have to identify the defects as well. That is the reason testing is very important. We have to be perfect in requirement understanding. So this is the importance of the testing. Here are few of the real-time examples. Okay, in April 2015, Bloomberg terminal in London crashed due to software glitch, affected more than 3 lakh traders. See, 3 lakh traders on financial markets. It forced the government to postpone a £3 billion debate sale. See, due to some software glitch or due to some technical problem, or if the proper testing was not being performed on that application, okay, 3 lakh traders were lost because of this software glitch. It has been founded. See, all these are the real-time examples I have collected. These are the things that happened in the history. So that is the reason people has recognized the testing team is the most important team, and it was born in the early 90s. So that is the reason testing is moved outside of the company to inside of the company. Later, they thought testing is a very important role it will play at any type of application, whether it is desktop type of application or any web application or any type of application. And also, see, Nissan cars recalled over 1 million cars from the market due to software failures in the airbag sensory detectors. There has been reported 2 accidents due to this software failure. See, due to some software failure, see, what is the purpose of airbag sensory detectors? If any major accident has been done, okay, so that due to that sensor only, the airbags has to be blown accordingly so that it will avoid the accidents. Due to that failure of that sensory detectors, 2 accident cases were filed. Because of this, you know, right, Nissan is a popular brand for the cars. So because of this incident, they have recalled over 1 million cars. Why? It was due to some software failure. See, if we are purchasing a car without tester, we cannot purchase it, right? So, and also without doing proper testing, without having proper thing, if the market has been introduced in the market, see, these type of failures will be happened. So that is the reason software testing is very important. Either it could be any type of application. See, Starbucks, we everyone know that it's a famous coffee vendor. So was forced to close about 60% of stores in the US and Canada due to software failure in its POS system. POS in the sense point of sales, where we will go and bill and pay our purchasing the goods and everything. So at one point the store served coffee for free as they were unable to process the transaction. See, due to some problem, due to some testing problem, POS systems are not at all working. So 60% of the stores in the US and Canada were closed. And also for few of the stores, they serve with the free coffee to the customers. So that is the reason people are thinking, all these examples whichever we are discussing right now, all these things are happened. It's not about the stories. Okay, so that is the reason people are accepting the testing is very important, whether it is manual testing, automation, or performance testing. Got it? Why the testing is important?
Yes, ma'am. So the
Yeah.
testing wasn't appropriately done, that means, at this
Yes,
point of
yes, it
time.
has. Yeah, see, developers are not going to test the application properly because what is the responsibility of the developers? they have to implement the business logic in the application properly. Their role is implementing the logics in the application code. What is the role of testers? We are going to validate that application with permutations and combinations. See, example, I'm going to test a Gmail login page. Okay, as a tester, what I have to do? I have to test login page with valid credentials and invalid credentials so that I'm validating that application, how the system, how the application is behaving if the valid credentials is being entered as well as invalid credentials is being entered. So what is the expectation here? If I entered valid credentials like username and password, the system will accept and it will open the Gmail login box. If I have provided the invalid credentials, what the system has to suppose to do? It should give me the error message, please enter the valid email ID. Means it will not allow me to log into the Gmail box. That is the thing we are testing. But this is the job. Developers will not do it because they will hesitate to find the defects in their own source code which they were developed. So that is the reason people are acquiring the tester and they were recognizing the tester's efforts also. Got it? Because we were testing one functionality with multiple test data like valid credentials, invalid credentials. Got it right? Like giving valid username and invalid username. We were testing whether error messages are generated or not, whether if the valid username was giving, if the user is able to log into the Gmail box. So in that way, so we were doing the testing for reliability, security, as well as stability. In all the ways, we were performing our testing with all permutations and combinations. So the same logic will be applied for all types of applications and also for all types of functionalities. Hope you hope you guys are clear what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Yeah, please respond if you have any doubts, okay? So that I can clarify at that point of time itself. So that is the reason at the point, the presence of errors will result in defects and the presence of defects will result in failure of the product. The presence of errors means if the code contains errors, if the application code contains errors, it will result in defects because once the development was completed, it will come to the testing. So as a tester, when I'm testing that application, if I found any defect, okay, we can consider it as defect. If as a tester, if I also miss the defect and straight away if that application was released into the live, into the production, then those defects can consider it as failure. It will be considered as failure of the product. No one can use our product. So that is the reason our job is we have to verify as well as validate our application as per the customer's requirements. So for that, what we have to do, we have to understand the requirement properly. What they were saying, who will provide the requirements for us? Business analyst. Okay. So going forward, I'll let you know what is software development lifecycle, who will provide the business requirements, how to identify the test scenarios, how to write the test cases. I will let you know in upcoming classes. But right now, try to understand very basic level what is software testing, why it is important, when we have to conduct our testing, why the application will have the defects. Everything we have to understand in our demo session. Got it? Yeah. The next question, how early should the testing start? See, if you can see this figure, these are all the phases: requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, and maintenance. Okay. So whenever, if the requirement analysis itself, if the defect was identified by us, the cost will be reduced compared to here. Okay. Here, after the coding, testing is the phase, means we actually coming to this picture. As a tester, if we can find maintenance is assume that it was into the production. Okay, production means the live environment. the application was released to the general public. Like you and me, we can all use the application. See, whenever we identify the defects from the very starting level phases, the cost will be reduced compared to here. If you can see this graph, see, the cost will be increased. The cost of fixing defect will be very high compared to here. If we raise the defects from this first phase itself, or the second or the third, the phase goes on, the cost of fixing will be increased. So that is the reason we have to identify the defects at very early ages of the testing. So one question will be flashed on your mind, like how we are going to raise the defects in requirement analysis. See, testers are important in all the phases. In this phase, requirement analysis, what is going to happen here? Business analyst, they will sit with the client and they will gather all the requirements, what the client was expecting from us, what are all the requirements and everything. So based on the discussions, business analyst, they will prepare the requirement specification documents. Okay, and once that requirement specification document was completed, they will, based on this, in this design, IT analyst people, they will involve, they will prepare high level design and low level design documents. Okay, so which technology has to be performed to develop this project or to develop this application. All the senior most technical persons, they will involve and they will try to understand. They will do the design part, just like in real time scenario in our daily life. If we want to construct a building, we would be going to architects, we would be letting them know about, like, this is our open plot, you just give me the blueprint of the document, how the building looks like. So in the same way, design people also, they will just try to understand, they will try to draw figures, like which technology is important, which programming language is better, which database has to be used, which approach we can follow for this type of application. They will just decide based on the project specification requirement documents developed by the business analyst. Once the design part was completed, coding means developers, they will do their coding part. They prepare development part according to the design specification. Once the coding part was completed, it will come to the testing. As a tester, what we will do, we will concentrate on the requirements. Okay, so based on that, we are going to test it. Once it was completed, it will go to the maintenance. I mean, any other maintenance activities, or any something it was has to be performed on that application, it will be there. Generally, this process we can call it a software development life cycle. I will brief you more, as it is a demo session. I'm just giving you a very high level overview, but in coming classes, I will just brief you very elaborately about software development life cycle. Okay, but here, from this phase onwards, if the management will start involving the testing people, like test manager or the test lead or testing team, so that the defects which were agreed and which were documented, we can eliminate. See, during discussion, something was discussed, but while documenting on one Word document, if something was written very wrong, okay, so these wrong things will be taken into and they will design accordingly. And according to the design, coding people will code, they will prepare the application code accordingly. Accordingly, the testing people will be doing the same. Ultimately, we were providing the wrong application to the or wrong product to the client. Instead of eliminating all these things, so testing people are necessary to be involved very first phase, means from this requirement analysis phase, so that the cost of fixing defect will be very reduced at the very early phases of the cycle. So that's the reason. Once the requirements are finalized, the testers needs to involve for testing. Testing should be performed on requirement documents, specification, or any other type of documents. so that if the requirements are incorrectly defined, and that then it can be fixed immediately rather than fixing them in the development phase. Got it? Any doubts here?